Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Legacy of Leaders here on Daily Ad Brief. I'm your host, Wayne Veldsman. On Legacy of Leaders, we discuss with entrepreneurs and change making business professionals all about what it means to lead. Today, I'm super excited to introduce you all to our guest, Mr. Leonard Kim of Influence Tree. Leonard, thank you for being here today.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for having me, Wayne. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to hop into our conversation. I was doing a little bit of research about you before we started, as I usually do. And I noticed that you mention that you bring humanity into personal brands. Tell us a little bit, what do you mean by that?
Sure. So when we think about a large corporation, like let's say Sony, for example, there's thousands and thousands of executives, but most people look at Sony as this one big company that does maybe making TVs or something like that. And there's a disconnect there between the person and the brand. So when we think about humanizing the brand, what we do is we take the employees, we take the executives, and we bring them to the forefront of the brand and make them brand advocates. And we bring the halo from the Sony brand to halo over them, and we bring them to halo over everyone else. So, for example, I worked with the Academic Medical Center at USC for a few years, and within that organization, we had like the chair of urology, the chair of neuroscience, and all these other chairs, and we had all these new doctors who came into the mix as well. So, what happened is everyone leveraged the brand of USC, but at the same time, the chairs, their brands and their legacies built up the reputation of USC, and the halo effect passed all the way down to the new rookie and new assistant professors who were the new doctors who were in the mix, and they could leverage the reputation of those leaders and the institution themselves. So at the forefront, now you have hundreds and hundreds of brands that people are able to go and connect with, as opposed to just one brand itself.
Amazing. Hundreds of brands, all the employees. Wonderful. I mean, since you're working with humans, humanizing brands, I'm
Mhm.
sure the topic of leadership is nothing new to you. What's maybe something that you would give people advice as far as how to improve their leadership abilities that you've maybe learned through some of these brands that you've worked with?
Sure. So the larger the organization, the harder it is to go and initiate change within the organization because you have layer after layer after layer of executives and leadership that you have to go through to get an ideal to come across to the forefront. So the best way to go about this is to start off before you want to go out there and present anything at all is ask a lot of questions that are guiding to exactly what you want to go out there and do. Go, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about that? And start to get buy-in from different people and lead them down the path that you want them to go down. And once you get that buy-in, what you want to do is you want to go and formulate a PowerPoint presentation behind that. And with that PowerPoint presentation, you want to first invite your department into that presentation and get all the initial questions answered from your initial team that might have been outside from that initial feedback that you received. Then once you have that presentation approved, you want to move it up the ladder and up the chain of command to maybe the executive suite, the chief operating officers, the chairs of different departments, the leaders of different departments, and also maybe the CEO of the company, so you can get buy-in all across the organization, so you can go out there and initiate a plan. For large organizations, let's say you're in the 5,000 person company, 1,000 person company, initiating change is the hardest thing that you can go out there and do. So you have to move up this ladder and get buy-in at every single step possible before you can initiate something new.
That's absolutely amazing. So almost like take smaller bites, right? What's that
Yeah,
saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I don't know if you've heard that one
exactly.
before, but
Yeah.
nice. Get buy-in from your department and then slowly take it bigger and bigger and bigger. And then what about smaller companies? When I'm not exactly sure how
So
many employees or team members you have at Influence Tree. But yeah, how about smaller companies? What's some advice for leadership for those individuals?
So for smaller companies, it's a little bit easier. You still want to lead with asking questions so you can guide people down the way that you want them to really go and progress with exactly what it is that they're doing. With a small company, it's very hard to be direct and to the point with exactly what you're telling people to do, or else they feel like it's orders and people don't really actually care about what you're doing and what you're saying. So you have to finesse exactly what you're saying so you get buy-in from your team members, and then they're more excited about taking ownership in the projects that they're doing, and they feel that this is something that they're attributing to society themselves as opposed to just an order to go out there and do something in the world.
Beautiful. Guide people small steps at a time, and then they're going to feel like they're actually attributing something themselves, not just following orders. So, Leonard, hey, thank you
Exactly.
so much for being on Legacy of Leaders today. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you so much, Wayne. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. To everybody else out there, thank you for the time for tuning in. If you want to learn some more about Leonard and about Influence Tree, visit us over at dailyadbrief.com. Until next time, you've been listening to Legacy of Leaders with your host, Wayne Veldsman. We'll see you soon.